Today we have decided to shoot a podcast slash interview slash just talking a bit to you about the guest of today, and he's none other than Graeme.
You must say my middle name to the people as well.
Graeme Arend.
That's it.
Nice to have. Good to have you.
Thank you, good to be here.
We're gonna just hop right into it. I've got a few questions here for you. First question: why volleyball?
It depends how much time you have for me to answer that.
Okay.
But there's a definite answer. It's almost like I could have, if I sent you the questions first, that would have been a question. Being an athlete at primary school and being quite a good athlete, and almost like putting Q-Town Primary, where I was at and where I'm from, on the athletic map. It was, sport came easy to me. I was the top under 10 athlete in 1979. I'm 10 years old, running under 10, breaking records. So being and doing well at sport was good and easy. But then I came to high school, and all of a sudden those very same athletes that I used to beat easily just because I was taller than them, now with their speed could beat me. So I needed something to, and I always wanted it to be sport. So I wanted to play sport. Sport is in my blood. I'm named after one of the world's greatest left-hand batsmen, Graeme, because my parents were cricket fanatics, so that's where my name came from. And so yeah, I tried even cricket, and wanted to even try hockey, because I'm going to try and see what I can do. But obviously my back wouldn't have lasted playing hockey. And just by chance I went to watch athletics, followed Sean Vester at Vijverskraal, and just walked past a certain Gary Gabriel's wearing a Western Province volleyball tracksuit, and being as deliberate as always, I walked past him just to check if I'm in the ballpark and height-wise. I thought, no, if he's a province player at that height, then maybe I can also try. And that was the Saturday. The Monday I started to play.
Look, I've been playing volleyball now roughly 18
all your
years.
life?
So, yeah, I want to say all my life, but growing up in the sport and whatnot. Can you tell me what it was like playing volleyball when you first started? Just the atmosphere, the crowds, just the energy about volleyball back in the day.
Well, volleyball was a new code, and it had momentum, and wanting or just to go and watch. People used to come with their families, sit and watch games at Athlone Civic, and fill the place. There's only one court, but the whole court and the stage and everywhere, people just sat and watched, and it was amazing to see that. And me living in Q-Town, I could easily access the Civic, and I fell in love with all of that. And not at first because I'm so skillful, because that volleyball is not an easy sport just to pick up and run with. I took my time to get into things, and it was quite a long journey before people wouldn't say, this tall O can't even play the game.
Firstly, I don't know how many people in the volleyball community know about in 1995 when the World Series came to Africa for the first time, and it came to Cape Town, Waterfront, and you and your partner actually played in that tournament. Did you ever think when you started playing that volleyball would take you to an international level? or was it just you just went with the flow?
Obviously, I always wanted to. Okay, let me start here. Having been a Western Province primary school athlete, and that bug bit, and I always wanted to at least play provincial indoor volleyball and at least just play or have South African colors. I knew I wasn't going to I won't be a professional athlete, but I at least wanted to represent this beautiful country just once. And I was, the cards fell right by 1995 in that I wasn't keen on traveling. So I wasn't even keen on traveling within South Africa. So when such a big event came to my home city, it was like al die stukke van die legkaart val in plek. All the pieces of the puzzle were there and fell into place. And also, a big part of it is that I then, by that time, had a permanent partner in Arend Stoffie. And we weren't the best, but we had I would say, and still today, an amazing chemistry on court. In fact, when I played my very last indoor match, he was right there next to me playing for our club. So we've played indoor volleyball all along, and for more than 30 years we've been beach volleyball partners. But 95 was the start, and just where we managed to do well playing together. And obviously, Arend Stoffie, a shorter player, needed a taller player because he played with his brother prior to, and they had all the chemistry as well, but they were the same height, and he needed a blocker, and him normally being the blocker could then go to the backcourt and be the cover player behind my block. And that worked well. The chemistry, though we totally different players, in fact, we were from different federations coming together in a unified South African volleyball setup.
In what year did unification happen?
Unification was 92.
92, okay.
So that is 2 years prior to the vote coming our way. So by that time, we were all unified and played in the same Western Province team indoors. But by the 95, the beach tour made a turn here at the waterfront. And yeah, that's where when everything got together.
Okay, so when you first stepped onto that court in 1995, at the World Series, after having to fight your way through to represent South Africa, can you take us through what you were feeling in that moment?
Yeah.
And if you can't exactly remember, maybe one of the memories that just stick with you from that tournament.
I can definitely. You must remember, prior to 92 and also 94, when everything opened up to us, it means so much more to us in that we could step onto the beach courts, but not everywhere. So we always saw beach volleyball as this elite sport whereby we could watch but not actually step onto the court, and it was very difficult. So there's a definite feeling of representing your country because it comes with so much baggage. Just to give you an idea, prior to 92, my cousin and I and family, my cousin also played volleyball at the time. He's now a top international baseball and softball umpire. But anyway, we go and take a bus through to Gordons Bay and we spent the day there. But little did we know that the trip was just the bus leaving you at Gordons Bay and then coming to fetch you at 4 in the afternoon again, taking you back to the Cape Town station. And then we would take the train back home to Athlone and walk to Q-Town. Anyway, as we stepped onto Gordons Bay, we immediately felt that this is not a place like we felt at Strandfontein or Cork Bay. It's definitely a whites only beach, and we heard motorists shouting out the windows, "Die is wit strande," and it was ugly. And we had to endure that whole day hiding, finding a place there behind Bikini Beach in a secluded little area where we don't interfere too much and be seen by the white bodies. And at that very Bikini Beach, Siraj and I had to qualify, and we came third in the qualifying tournament. In fact, that tournament, in coming third, it meant that we could qualify to fight to be at the World Series qualifying round. So we came third there, and it was big. Here and not just us, but we are taking over these beaches, and we now not just make it to the court, we coming third, and others like us come first. So when we got to the World Series, after having to qualify at the World Series, because only 4 teams from South Africa could qualify to play at that World Series, and we had to fight, and we managed to win that qualifying tournament, Siraj and I. Or not, you didn't have to win, but you needed to win a certain amount of matches to qualify, and we were in the top 4 South African teams, because they could field a whole host of South African teams, but only 4 were going to make it into the main draw, and we played well enough to make it. So when we actually played in that World Series event, it came with all those emotions. Yeah.
Okay. My next question, just moving away slightly from 1995, and actually just now at your age of 65.
56. How can I be 65?
I'm
65 in reverse, yes.
Yes, I must know your age to say that. You are 56, retired last year from Premier League volleyball. What did volleyball teach you about life, discipline, teamwork? Is there? You don't have to give me, like we said, we pushing for time, but just
no. Yeah, man. I can talk a lot on that. Being an insecure youngster, being a thinner than what you want to be youngster, teenager, being too tall, though in today's today my height wouldn't be, my height is a cover player's height, and if I jump high enough I could be a blocker, but in the best indoor volleyball teams in the world, my height is the shortest on the team. So I came to volleyball with lots of baggage, not being.
Sorry about that, guys. Struggled a bit with technical difficulties.
But it wasn't on your side, it was the electricity.
Yeah, the electricity in the area just went off, so we had to do what we had to do. So obviously, I've heard majority, if not all, your volleyball stories of back in the day, and you know the experiences that you had and so on. And when it comes to, you know, the adversities that you faced, we won't still go into it because we're not here to bash anyone or so on. But just as a player, how did you get through those challenges, those no's, those, how did you deal with it?
Yeah, it is hard, but luckily I understood from early on that even if the coach doesn't choose me, it is important that I need to know, okay, I should have been in that team. I'm better than that. Oh, no one knew that this was what was happening in my head. I was my own coach and my own selecting panel in my own head, judging what I was doing and where I fitted in whichever team I started, especially when I started, with my college team firstly and then club teams, because I was acutely aware of if I want to go on this tournament, I need to be in the first 12 or whatever, and I could see, okay, if I improve on this, I can maybe make the team. And not always did I agree with the coaches that coached me along the way. And back then, there wasn't a generation of players and coaches before me, because I just started a little later than that very first generation. So what they said in their minds was always gospel, and I threw that out by the window, and I needed to go and find out, but what is the best practices at the time. And not having internet, very close friend of mine, maybe closest, Jerome, and I would go and buy these volleyball magazines at the what was the CNA at the time, and go, die tydskrifte het ons elke maand gekoop, just to try and be on par, or trying to be on par as to the developments in the sport at the time, because we soon realized that the books that we had to get from the library were even outdated at that time. So it was important that we needed to find new information. And to answer your question in terms of adversity wasn't just a coach or teammates, or it was also the time that we were in. The whole time was a time of adversity, whether it's apartheid, whether it's
lack of information.
It's everything, and not even knowing how good you are, because you're not playing all under one umbrella, and so all of that was it was all adversity. In fact, we were so used to that it was just a part of us. And when unity came, I don't know if we were quite ready, because I didn't think that we would have democracy in this country in my lifetime. And all of a sudden, just before democracy, we have unification, and it all happened so fast, and you must just adapt. And I wasn't going to die a volleyball death, so I needed to adapt.
Okay. I've got a few more questions, maybe one or two. So, with us touching on adversity and things that you had to go through, and things of that nature, is there anything you think players of today are missing? This is just a raw, uncut. We're not trying to. Just you as an OG.
I don't want to. I'm not here to bash the new generation, but I do feel, with all that's at their disposal, they're not using it. I am almost jealous that they can watch a YouTube video in how to dive, or how to have improve your spiking action and all of that, and there's almost no reason not to do well if you have the talent, or you have the height, and not just height in your height in meters, but your height you get off the ground, or you're in a specialized position in the backcourt or whatever. There is so much information that you can learn without being at a training session with your coach, with your teammates. If that happens only twice a week, then that's great, but you can't train only twice a week. You can't be with the ball only twice a week. You have to be touching the ball daily, and with the information available, there's no need to lag. So yeah, hopefully people will catch on, try and close gaps between senior players and up and coming players sooner and quicker. But still, it is still about, though what I'm saying is such a big thing where you do your own homework, but we need to create situations where players play and touch the ball and be on the court and hone their skills and improve and that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I've got 2 more questions, but it's more of a I would like to take a deeper look in the mind of the coach, because for those of you who don't know, you coached the last time in 2015 was your last time coaching province?
Mm-mm. That was the last time. I think it was. No, it couldn't have been. That was when I coached under 15 team.
Oh, okay, yes,
But
yes.
that's a Western Province team
Yeah,
where they came home with gold. Thereafter, coaching the Cranes females team with Khadija.
oh, it's just
So there were always other coaching
okay.
duties along the way. And
Okay, so having been a coach and still a coach and moving more now towards that than playing, I would love to hear a first 6 of players you've seen since you say you were part of the first generation. We've had so many players, talented players coming in and out the doors of volleyball, and if you could pick you actually in such a privileged position where you saw it from the start to where it is now, and if you were to select the first 6 just of players, or what would your first 6 be? No pressure.
No, it's a question that I don't think I have the right answer for, firstly.
Okay.
And it will be with loaded bias from my side as to who I played with and who I trusted as a player, who may not have been the best player in the selectors or the coach at the time's eyes. So if I were to choose 6, it's not the first time you ask me this.
It's the first time I ask you in
front of the world, yes.
And also, the reason I ask is because I want your opinion. This is not the best or ever.
Yeah.
I want to know who's your team you are selecting.
If I always choose Lut Groenewald to be the first player I choose to go to war with, because I'm not going to lose any battle with him and I'm not going to lose the war. He was eventually a setter and he understood his hitters. Though there may be flaws in his overall game, there could have been blockers, setters who were better blockers maybe, or setters who... Anyway, I became a setter myself eventually. But yeah.
As a player?
Who would just fight till the death and just Lut is number 1.
Okay.
And then obviously we have the 2 best players South Africa has produced is Gerson Roerich and Adrian Strydom. There you already have 3 players. So
I don't need
positions or whatever.
Just give me 6 players.
There I have 3. Then I'm going to choose 2 middle players. I would choose Rose, Marcel Rose and Pierre Haupt. There are obviously other players who can rival those slots. But because you now said I must choose the 6, I think I will be the last person in that. I'll be the last in the 6. Though there are players on the fringes, I can choose another 6 to complete the 12. But just to answer your question, and it's my 6, so it's my dream team. It's my dream. So obviously I dream from where I'm the rookie in the stick. So that's, I think, the only reason I would be in that team. But yeah, those are
Okay.
5 amazing players I would like to be around on the court.
If you could sum up your volleyball journey in one word, what would it be and why?
Firstly, that's unfair because the English language, the Afrikaans language, the 2 languages I know
You can give me
are full of words that I could use to describe my journey within volleyball. But and my answer may just be completely unexpected to everyone.
Okay.
It's I think it's learning, eh? Volleyball has always been a place where I learned, where it taught me from, it taught me stuff I didn't learn at school. I've always said volleyball taught me. That's why I'm still involved in a way, because I can't give back what volleyball gave me. Even if I live another 100 years and stick to volleyball, all these extra 100 years, it won't be enough what volleyball gave me. So I can't make up, because from a learning point, I even learned my second language. The language I'm using to converse with now is what I got at volleyball. Want ek het net Afrikaans gepraat, het nie Engels by huis gepraat, het nie Engels geken nie. So the second language was something I picked up along the way at volleyball. So it is a whole learning thing. It's dealing with people, dealing with conflict, dealing with leadership, dealing with peers, dealing with too much to mention. So in one word, I think it's just learning and still.
That was my last question for today. I don't know where this series will take us. I don't know if I will stay behind the camera. I'm not quite used to being behind. No.
But you know, there's a certain chemistry if we next to each other.
Yeah.
So
it's a whole other mood to the podcast.
Yeah, so maybe we can go that route,
We're
eh?
trying to be a bit serious here today. It's wild to think that my journey in volleyball started long before I was even born. But hearing your stories and just experiencing volleyball firsthand, I know that it's bigger than just a game. I've learned valuable lessons, whether it's been hearing that I'm not good enough to be on the court when I was 15, to just learning to believe in myself as a grown man now at 25. I just want to thank you for introducing me to the sport firstly, and also just giving me your time today. I really appreciate it, and I think we're gonna wrap it up. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much. That was Graeme. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a good time.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.